Donald John Trump is a blatant, stone-cold, racist, white supremacist. My question is, how can any self-respecting black person support him? Stay with me. Hello, everyone. I am attorney Augustus Corbett, one half of the Defiant Lawyers, and each and every week we bring you at least one legal analysis of some trending story regarding politics, policies, personalities, or pop culture to empower you with the information you need to defy this unjust legal system. If that interests you, please like, share, comment, subscribe, and click the bell so you'll get notified every time we upload one of our powerful and informative videos. You heard me right in the beginning. Donald Trump is a blatant, stone-cold, racist, white supremacist, and why any self-respecting black person supports him is beyond me. In fact, we can say any self-respecting black person would never support a racist like Donald Trump. Before I get into this, please go to Amazon, get a copy of my book, Education and Justice, if you have an African-American son in public schools. Trust me, you need this book. Hey everyone, I am attorney Augustus Corbett, one half of the Defiant Lawyers. Recently, I took a look at our analytics and I noticed something shocking. Many of you watch our videos and I believe you enjoy them, but you haven't subscribed yet. What are you waiting for? Again, I was shocked because I know our content is empowering and informative. Plus, our 2024 goal is to have 150,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Please help us by hitting that subscribe button, especially you young folks. We particularly want to increase our number of young subscribers. Thanks for all your continued support. We appreciate it very much. What has triggered me here recently is a picture that I saw Trump post on Truth Social of Kamala Harris. It is despicable. Let me show you what I mean. This picture. That's Kamala Harris's image on what appears to be a coconut with people around her celebrating her candidacy. All right, let's go in a little closer and take a look at this shameful, racist picture. Trump reposted this, I'm told. Look at Kamala's face. It's dark. And then there is the light part. So he essentially, or whoever did this, and Trump obviously is endorsing it because he reposted it, is basically portraying her in blackface. I mean, this is stone cold racist. Where does he get off treating this black woman like that? And the black men who are around him, why are they silent? Why do they not at least say, Mr. President, this is racist. We can't go along with this. Why don't they think about their own children or their own wives? Like Byron Donalds, he has children, biracial children. He should know what Trump is doing is racist. Yet, what he will do is come out here and defend Trump's racism. Imagine that. A black man going out into public defending a white supremacist racism. Imagine that. Just imagine that for a second. Just take a step back and take a close look at that. A black man with biracial children, just like Kamala Harris, instead of rebuking Trump and telling him that those pictures are unacceptable, he comes out here and he defends this racism. What has happened to us as a people? What has happened to those black men that they would do such a thing? Trump shouldn't have any black support. I guess I'm old school. I'm cut from a different cloth. I'm from the South. I grew up seeing racism up close and personal. I grew up in what you could describe as a Confederate state, in a very rural, small town where we generally got along, but we knew there were definite demarcation lines of race. So again, yeah, I got along with all the whites that I went to school with and so forth. We didn't have that sort of thing. But again, the racism was there. It was very, very much present. And so I would have never imagined growing up, becoming an adult, a man, and as a black man supporting a blatant racist like Donald Trump. I grew up during an era when in my state, one of the senators, Jesse Helms, was just like Trump. In fact, Jesse Helms was considered one of the most racist men in the Senate. I would even say he wasn't as bad as Trump. Jesse Helms would have known better, I think, than to associate himself with a black woman in blackface. Trump does it with no shame, no embarrassment, and no rebuke from anyone around him. The GOP supports it, MAGA supports it, and most of all, and unfortunately and inexplicably, the black men around him, apparently, they support it as well. That means you have lost all your self-respect as a black man when you are supporting a candidate who is so blatantly racist. And not just with these offensive pictures, okay? Not just with this offensive picture, but his racism goes back to the 70s. Trump's racism goes back to the 70s when he was sued for racial discrimination against black Americans, people who wanted to rent his apartments, and the many other racist things that he has said and done on the campaign trail and even during office. We remember when he called African nations S-hole nations. He said all Haitians have AIDS. He disrespected black women over and over and over again, like April Ryan. I mean, he treated them like trash. And now he's treating this black woman like trash. And the black men around him are saying nothing. In fact, they are defending him. Again, I'm cut from a completely different cloth. There is no way that I could ever support somebody like that. No way, no shape, no form, no fashion. Absolutely not. I would think about my grandmother. I would think about my great grandfather on my mother's side. And I would think about my great great grandfather, Thomas Williams, who was enslaved on the Williams Plantation. In fact, I remember I went to Charleston. A group of us married couples went and spent some time in Charleston. This has been some years ago. And we went to this place that was once a plantation. And they will give you tours of the big house, and then you see the little slave houses out there. Oh, it really disturbed my spirit. So we went to take the tour. And while we were doing the tour guide called this man the Honorable John somebody. And I heard that. And it was a crowd of people. And I stopped the tour and I asked, how is this man the Honorable whomever when he enslaved people and built his wealth on the backs, on the brutalization, on the torture, on the lynching, the whipping of black people? How is that honorable? So she and I went back and forth, and I told her, I said, listen, let me out of this house right now. I cannot stay here. My spirit is too grieved. I got to get out of here now. And she said, well, I'm sorry, we've started the tour and I can't open this door. And I literally raised my foot to kick that door open. And she said, you better not kick that door open. And I said, if you don't open it right now, I'm getting ready to kick this door down because I cannot stay in this place and honor a man who enslaved black folks and built his wealth and life on the torture and brutality of my ancestors. Open this door or I'm kicking it down. She opened it. And here's what I did. I left that house. I left the so-called big house, and there was a black woman who was sitting maybe about 50 yards away from the house. She was sitting under a tree weaving baskets. If you go to Charleston, you'll see a lot of basket weaving going on there. In fact, Charleston was one of the biggest slave ports. I suspect that my family came into the United States probably through Charleston. So it was a big deal to go. But anyway, I sat down beside that woman and she said, son, she was an elderly woman. She said, son, what's going on? I called her mother. I said, mother, I had to get out of there. They called the man who built this place the honorable somebody. And it just so grieved my spirit, I had to leave. And she said, I understand. I understand. I think her grandmother or mother or somebody had been enslaved on that plantation. Again, I'm cut from a different cloth. I've been this way all my life. I don't hate anybody. I don't hate white people. I don't even hate Trump, a racist like Trump. I won't allow my heart to hate anyone. But let me tell you something. I so strongly disapprove of the blatant racism and white supremacy that he exhibits all the time, and those around him, including those black men, they approve of it. I wouldn't even doubt that the black men around him encourages it. They're the ones probably telling him that he should attack Kamala's race. I mean, they seemingly have lost their complete self-respect as black men. And it's sad. It's sad to see our community like this. It is like seeing a Jewish person who is on the side and support the descendants of Hitler, for example. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine any self-respecting Jewish person supporting the party that contains a bunch of Nazis? That's what those black conservatives are doing. And that's what some of these other black guys out here are doing when they talk about supporting Trump. It is despicable when I look at this picture, and it just triggered me. It teed me off, and I just got to speak out. I got to say something about this. This is not right. This is not right. America should condemn this. And in my opinion, Trump should not even be running. There was a time not long ago that this would have ended somebody's campaign. This would have been the end of their campaign. America had at least at that time had not completely lost its soul. Before Trump hit the scene, at least racism was put on the back burner, at least. There was some shame associated with it. Not today. This is blatant, racist, white supremacist, and this is coming from the man who is the nominee of one of the major political parties in this country. So how far has this country come? I tell you, it's come a long ways, but they're certainly trying to take us back. And I just echo the words of Kamala Harris. We won't go back. We won't go back. You might have some issues with Kamala. You may have some serious issues that you're struggling with. But I'm telling you this man and his crowd, MAGA, Project 2025, if he's elected, I shudder to think what will happen to this country. I shudder to think what they will do to this country. So I had to speak out. I had to say something. And you need to say something. You need to let folks know this is not all right. Always do it peacefully, but speak out passionately and resolutely. Don't quiver about it. This is bad. This is horrible. This should not be tolerated in this country. Not in 2024. This should not be tolerated. This should be widely condemned. Fox News should be condemning it. CNN should be condemning it. MSNBC condemning it. But let me tell you something. Each of those networks, all of them are about the money. They are about the money. And so they're okay with it so long as they keep getting those viewers, those eyes on their network, because that brings in the money. What about the GOP politicians? What about these pro-black imposters who are supporting this crap? What about them? Let's not leave them out. My question to you with them is, why do you continue to give them your eargate as they say stuff to get you to support this man and this garbage right here, and yet call themselves pro-black? Give me a break. All right. That's what I had to say. I got it off my chest. We got to do better. We got to do better. We can't let these folks make fools of us like this. Some are profiting so handsomely that they're gone. The only thing that makes them black is their skin color, the melanin in their skin. Inside, they're gone because they would call this out. They would call this out. There's no way that they would support this. They would tell Trump, you got to take that down. We're not, we support your policies, but we don't support your racism. They're not even doing that. Anyway, I am Attorney Augustus Corbett, one half of the Defiant Lawyers. Thank you for tuning in, and until the next time, peace.